In January of 2022, Pixel Gun 3D was sold in a combined deal worth 100 million US dollars by a company called Nexters. But what has changed since then? Has this deal been worth it? And how is Pixel Gun 3D getting on months after the acquisition? Well, in August of 2022, Nexters confirmed they reached a record high in quarterly revenue of 126 million US dollars with a net profit of $23 million. According to their press release in their financial results, a large proportion of this revenue increase is coming from Pixel Gun 3D. So I decided to do a little bit of research to see how Pixel Gun 3D is really doing, which, as you can see, it is still in the top 100 in most categories for action games. According to this website, Pixel Gun 3D made around $200,000 as of last month. However, I don't necessarily believe these statistics to be true, as it could be much higher or it could be much lower. The only problem I have is, as of recent, Pixel Gun 3D is on a little bit of a slippery slope downwards. This could be down to multiple factors, such as people returning back to school or work, or places now opening since the pandemic. This is Alex Krasnov's publisher summary, the original creator of Pixel Gun 3D. It says here, total Alex Krasnov mobile app revenue in October of 2022 was $700,000, including $500,000 for iOS apps and $200,000 for Android apps. So people are spending a lot more on Apple products than they are on Android. Total mobile app downloads for Alex was 800,000, including 200,000 iOS app downloads and 600,000 Android app downloads. Alex has a total of 12 apps, including 6 on iOS and 6 on Android. Their top grossing app last month was Pixel Gun 3D, and their most downloaded app was also Pixel Gun 3D. I want to take the time and explain to you how Nexters are making a lot of revenue from Pixel Gun 3D, but at the same time, this is not disturbing players too much. They've actually done a pretty good job, but there's also other areas of Pixel Gun 3D that needs to be addressed and improved. Now, I do plan to make a second video, which is improvements Pixel Gun 3D needs to make as of 2023. And I want you guys to help me in the comments section. Tell me what part of Pixel Gun 3D you're not happy with, what needs to be changed. The more descriptive paragraphs that you leave, the better it is, and the better we can give this feedback to the developers in hoping that they make some changes. Let's focus on the part of the game that not only benefits Nexters and Pixel Gun 3D financially as a company, but also benefits players as well. I want to start off with probably one of the best ways they are making revenue, and one of the best ways we are receiving rewards. And I am talking about the Lucky Board. When you watch an ad in the Lucky Board, it makes Pixel Gun 3D and Nexters 0.01 or 0.02 in terms of money. They make like 1p per advert, 1 cent per advert. That's not a lot. However, you get the option to watch this 10 times a day. Let's say 200,000 people watch 10 adverts a day. That is a lot of money. Now, this is completely down to you. You don't have to watch an advert. If you're sick and tired and don't want to watch adverts, you go back. It doesn't disturb gameplay too much. To be honest with you, in my free-to-play experience, you tap on this and I watch them every single day because I know that I could get rewards such as 100 gems, for example. Now, one more thing they have been pushing a lot is this called the reward of your choice. Now, if you take the time to watch a ridiculous amount of ads, you are able to get yourself a bunch of gems and coins. Now, this one is more frustrating than the Lucky Board and takes you around about 1 hour to do, but this is a great way for not only players to earn currencies, as you can see, 70, 80, 90, 100, 150 gems for watching 30 ads. Takes around about 1 hour, but again, in terms of currencies that the company is making, it's like 0.01 or 0.02, which again translates to a lot of money if, let's say, 200,000 people did this. And of course, we have things such as the free currencies. You watch adverts, you get currencies. We also have in the Pixel Pass, if you take the time to watch an advert, you get yourself free currencies. So they are doing it in a discreet way. Now, one thing that I want to say here, one thing that's quite frustrating is I don't mind them pushing the ads in this way because it's totally up to you. I don't watch a single ad on my paid account. I don't need to, but on my free-to-play account, those adverts are incredibly important. One of the most frustrating things here is that if we watch we spin this real quick, we get ourselves 3 gems. They've physically taken away the ability to open a 10 key, 5 key chest. You have to watch adverts for this. I don't like that. That's a ruining feature for me. Having to watch constant adverts is fine on your own accord, but when you start introducing it to the likes of your lottery, it ruins it. Now, what they need to do here is give us 2 options. You're either able to spin for 10 keys or you're able to watch an advert. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we don't talk about this, they'll then push it to other parts of the game, which will just ruin it. And you'll find yourself watching constant adverts and not playing the game a lot. Now, this is quite common in other games. Right next to the booster, we have gems. This is something I've seen in many mobile games, but this has been pushed a lot more in Pixel Gun 3D. So signing up to specific things can earn you revenue. And if we scroll down, you can earn up to 1,207 gems if you complete a purchase on Watch Gang. So this is something else that they've done. It's not something that ruins gameplay, doesn't really affect you. So it's a pretty good way for them to make revenue for this game. Now, it's all good and great that the company is making money. And like I said, I am going to make a separate video on this, on things that need to change for 2023 for Pixel Gun 3D. But one of the biggest problems I currently have with Pixel Gun 3D is the Pixel Pass and how incredibly repetitive it is. They haven't evolved the Pixel Pass in Pixel Gun 3D. They made minor changes to it, but it's not enough. The pass has been the exact same since the first pass that was ever introduced to Pixel Gun 3D. If you do a comparison, there really isn't too many changes. So to answer the title, is Pixel Gun 3D dead? The answer is no. In fact, Pixel Gun 3D is thriving. But what I will say is Pixel Gun 3D is definitely struggling in the YouTube scene. Why is this? Even I don't know. I really hope Pixel Gun 3D on YouTube can thrive the way the game is also thriving. So for people who say Pixel Gun 3D is dead, send them to this video, because if something is dead and it was making $200,000 a month minimum, then hey, I would love my game to be that dead.